Welcome. Welcome to Inner Light Ministries virtual Sunday service. I'm the Reverend Deborah Johnson, and we are coming to you live out of the Santa Cruz area of California. And just a shout out to you wherever it is that you may be at this particular point in time. June is Pride Month, and in the Santa Cruz area, we actually celebrate Pride early. We celebrate it the first Sunday in June. So as we are having Sunday service, Pride's going to be going on in the Santa Cruz area. So I want to give a shout out to everybody who is participating in that, and I will join the virtual festival in about 2 hours or so. Let's just all take a breath. What a time this is. We just all need to take another breath. And we are so glad that you are tuning in with us because we have a vision. We have a vision of a world that works for everyone. We have a vision of a human presence on the planet that's actually a blessing, where by our presence, we actually create more sustainability. By our very presence, we actually create more justice. And we're here to do the deep inner work that's necessary, as well as to help usher in the new day in terms of the transformation of society in our institutions, in order to reflect that inner divinity, which is the truth and the essence of us all. So, we say, welcome, wherever it is that you are. Inner Light is quite an eclectic community. We have people with us from all backgrounds, political affiliations, gender expressions, sexual orientations. Sometimes I joke, I say we have the vegans, we have the carnivores, we've got 12-steppers and club hoppers. We have the gamut here. All economic stratas. And that's because that's the way that life is. That's the way that life is. And we believe that spiritual community is about finding that place to work it all out. So we are so pleased that in the midst of everything that's going on, the COVID pandemic, all of the protests that are happening in regards to police brutality, in all of the even graduations and things that are happening now. It's just so much going on. We are so pleased that you're with us today. And we want to invite you to like this wherever it is that you are, help multiply, because so many people are really needing their hearts to be touched at this moment. I'm so pleased that on the pulpit with me today is one of my favorite local musicians, Stephen Walters. Stephen is one of those kinds of people that when he sings, something just opens up. He is a fabulous songwriter and a storyteller in his songwriting. And I listen to his songs over and over and over. There are some songs that become a part of my life. And he doesn't just keep this with himself, that he teaches it, he teaches songwriting, he teaches guitar playing, he teaches voice. And I encourage you to look him up at StephenWaltersMusic.com. And he'll tell you a little bit more about himself when he comes up. And this is a man who's been through the trenches, literally from the brink of death, like less than 24 hours to live. Don't tell me prayer don't work. He has a testimony. And also with me today on pulpit is Pamela Greco, who will be opening up sacred space for us in invocation. She will also be leading us in our affirmative activations, and later on bringing us some of the announcements of opportunities that can take place, and also inviting us into the offering of conscious contribution. So, my brother Stephen, please come up and bless us with some songs.
Thank you, Rev D. Lord, to everybody out there and everybody here, this song might be just the right thing for now because it's about when your old self is falling away and you know that something new is coming, but you're kind of in that indeterminate place right in the middle. Lately, I've been disappearing. I know it's a strange thing to say, but luckily I've been hearing this music and it's helped me find my way. I'm just finding my rhythm, you know you really have to listen cause each moment's new. And though the music's always changing, the feeling's the same when it rings true. Well, I don't like boxes and I don't like rules. I guess by nature I'm just a little wild. Still sometimes at the end of the day I lay my head on my pillow just like a little child. And still sometimes I get so lost and I don't know what to do. But hold this heart with some forgiveness. While it's reaching for something new. Oh, oh, yeah. Lately I've been disappearing. I know it's a strange thing to say, but luckily I've been hearing this music and it's helping me find my way. It's helping me find my way. Helping me find my way. All right. Hey, everybody out there. Thank you.
Good morning, beautiful Inner Light community. My name is Pamela Greco, and I have the honor of invocating our service today and bringing you our affirmative activations as well as our announcements a little later on. So if you just take a deep breath with me at this time. Feel whatever is underneath you, supporting you. Knowing that that support is the one source, God by any name. God is everywhere present. There is no spot where God is not. And we thank you, God. We thank you for the breath of life that brings us all together. that joins us in this special place that we have reserved just for you. Dear sweet and holy one, I thank you. I thank you for this day, this time, this blessing to be present on your grand earth at this time. When there's a lot going on, God, but this is what we know. The good is all around. We got to go over bumps to grow, to recognize what's deep inside us that's being called forth. And God, there's a lot being called up. Thank you, because we can't heal it unless we feel it and deal with it. So thank you for this special time in our history as humanity. I want to bless everyone who has brought this service together today. The few of us in this room, thank each and every one of you. You are vital. You are important to the multiplication of this consciousness. Thank you. Thank you for our musical inspiration today, Stephen Walters. Thank you, God, for the way that you move and present music through him. It's such a blessing. His music touches deep in my soul, as I'm sure it does all of you. Thank you for our beloved Reverend Deborah, the one who took heed to the spark, to the call to bring this community to life. Thank you for the blessing of this property that we've been on for nearly 20 years now. And it looks like we're going to be here just a bit longer. We bless it. We bless everything that has taken place here and everything that's yet to take place. We bless our global community and our virtual community, which is everyone right now. Thank you for being present with us. I know that this day is a God-glorious given blessing, and I call it good. Thank you, sweet Spirit, and so it is. The theme for this month is vitality, and today's topic is embracing the good. I'll be reading the affirmative activations. You can find those in your chat stream, on social media, on our webpage. Open up to these. Take them in. They're not just to listen to, they're to activate. So hopefully you can make a space in your soul to feel these and take heed to the call that they are extending to you. My life is forever vital. I give thanks for blessings large and small. The active blessing enables things to multiply. And I have the courage to affirm sufficiency. I live in enoughness. Everywhere around me, I see miracles, evidence of divine design. I see through lack and limitation. I perceive pure potentiality. My words breathe life into whatever comes out of my mouth. Minding my mind, I consciously direct my creative energy. My grateful heart perceives God's bounty everywhere. I embrace the good that is flowing in, through, and as me. I celebrate life with fearless enthusiasm and reverent awe. I would just like to remind everyone that our virtual prayer room is open now for registration. Virtual prayer is available immediately following service. Registration opens at the beginning of service. You can find the link below and in Facebook Live or the chat stream on the Facebook page. The private prayer room with our practitioners of higher consciousness are open for prayer from the end of service until 12 p.m. Please avail yourselves to prayer. Prayer is also available by telephone at 831-465-9090, extension 254. You can also receive prayer by emailing us at the number 4prayer@innerlightministries.com. Thank you.
Well, by special request, someone asked me to do this song, and I love this tune because it came in such a real way. I was thinking about babies and thinking about each one of us and what it took for each of us to just get into this world. You know, just to be born is just such an amazing thing. And I was thinking, well, okay, it's tough, and we all know that. We've forgotten a lot of it now, but I was thinking if a baby was like 6 months old and could sing a song, what would that be? Would it be like an operatic piece? Would it be a country thing? And then I got to know it would be like this. My mama threw me out the day I was born. I cried just like a baby. I had to leave my happy home. You know, I've been 9 months in a place so nice and serene. Now I'm blind, cold, and naked, and I think I got a right to scream. It's my first day out. I've already had enough. No one said life would be easy, but no one said it'd be this tough. At 6 months old, they threw me in the pen. Got out on good behavior, but they put me right back again. I swear now, people, I swear now I've been framed. Not to mention I got this rash on my bottom, and Lord, it's inflamed. They pinch me and squeeze me, feed me all kinds of nasty stuff. No one said life would be easy, but no one said it'd be this tough. You know what I'd say? If I could walk, I'm getting out of this joint soon as I learn to talk. Baby, gonna play the blues. Listen here now, people. Hear me when I say, gonna find me that doctor that smacked me that first day. I'm gonna grab that dude, hold him upside down by his heels, smack him on his bottom and say, now you see how that feels. I hit the bottle, then went on to harder stuff. No one said life would be easy, but no one said it'd be this. No one said it'd be this. No one said it'd be this tough. Ow! Baby got the blues. All right, thank you, everybody. Didn't know I was going to be doing that one today, but. Well, this song also came from as a special request from Rev D, and I love this tune because this one as well came at a time when I was a little kid, and it was that point where I really learned something by just watching stuff in the world, you know, because we're taught so many things, and you know, we're kind of injected with all this stuff. But this is one of those points where I really learned something. It's when I first went down to the Jersey Shore, growing up in New Jersey, and I went down to the ocean, and the waves just scared the heck out of me, and I had to sit and watch and figure out, how do I deal with these big, powerful things coming in here? I remember my first trip to the ocean, how the big waves just kept rolling in, and how the first one knocked me right over. I swallowed water and I scraped up my shin. Well, then I waded in shallow water and just watched all the other kids swim, till I saw this big wave start breaking, and I couldn't believe it. I saw this one kid, he just dove right in. He dove right in. He dove right in. And he came out on the other side, laughing, laughing. He dove right in. He dove right in. And he came out on the other side, laughing. Well, I never had so much fun as I did that day. I swam till my lips turned purple. My mom had to drag me away, and I remember staring out the back of the station wagon on the Garden State, just knowing I'd learned something. Well, the years rolled by, and I just kept my head above water, but it's like I'd forgotten something that I really should remember, till the pain got so bad. And somehow by grace I surrendered, and I dove right in. I dove right in. I dove right in. And I came out on the other side, laughing, laughing. I dove right in. I dove right in. And I came out on the other side, laughing. You can try and run from the waves, but tell me, can we really? Or wouldn't it be better now just to learn how to swim? It's a lot more fun once you see you are the ocean. Come on, everybody just dive right in.
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you, Stephen. Oh. See, I still want to just hug everybody. Can't wait for the day we can just do that. Hug fest, yes. Virtual hug. Thank you, Stephen. Let's just breathe that in. The theme this month is vitality. And my topic today is embracing our good. Embracing our good. You know, vitality, that is the promise of living the conscious spiritual journey. In Scripture, Jesus referred to it as the everlasting life. It's not a quantitative thing, it's a qualitative thing. It's actually the Greek word zoe. What all of the great traditions teach us is that if we're willing to be mindful, if we're willing to be present, if we're willing to honor the divine and the divinity within ourselves and each other, that when the winds and the rains come, they may beat upon your house, but your house still stands. If you do your spiritual work, you are not promised that you get to be exempt of the weather. We have this notion of if you're a good person, bad things shouldn't happen. I get that question all the time. Why do, quote unquote, bad things happen to, quote unquote, good people? Things happen. They happen. Illness, injury, we're out of here. No one lives forever. Death, divorce, no marriage continues forever. Everything in the biosphere has a shelf life. And our charge is not to try to hold on to things, to have security, to hold on to things, to make sure that we're not left out in the cold, or that we can know what's going on and feel like we have some kind of control. It's not that kind of world. When we look at life, we can look to nature and see how nature works. We're almost approaching the summer solstice. It has its seasons, it has its cycles. But there's never a winter that is not followed by a spring. There is never a nighttime that is not followed by a dawn. So no matter what it is that's going on in your life, in the outer realm of effects, this too shall pass. And no matter what it is that's going on, you can still have a vital life. No matter what it is that's going on, you can still feel alive. You can still feel joy, even in the midst of pain, even in the midst of sorrow, even in the midst of public unrest, even in the midst of pandemics. It doesn't mean that your inner vitality has to go down. What it does mean, though, is that you have to choose it. Because our life experience is not the things that happen to us, it's how we name what's going on. And if you want vitality, you have to declare vitality. If you want vitality, you have to speak vitality. If you want vitality, you have to affirm vitality. We get to make the choice of how any particular thing going on impacts us. And what a time we are in right now to really prove that to ourselves. All this stuff going on. But what does it mean? All this stuff going on right now. Is it uplifting you and making you feel more inspired, giving you a greater sense of hope? Is it simply putting you in fear or despair, worry, concern? What exactly are each and every one of us making of this moment? I keep saying over and over again, don't waste a good crisis. Don't waste a good crisis. Things are not falling apart. They're falling together. Breathe that in for a moment. Things are not happening at us. This great moment is happening for us. It's happening for us. We are in a moment of a huge planetary, global, evolutionary spurt. Cultures, society, human consciousness, just like a child growing up. A child doesn't grow evenly, so many inches per month, per year, whatever, or percentage of inches. They have these growth spurts. And that's what's happening with us as a collective society right now. We are having a growth spurt. Something is happening. We are on a journey. We are on a sojourn from where we were to where we're going. And don't let the fact that you don't know where you're going make you forlorn. You don't have to know where you're going to know you're headed in the right direction. You don't have to know where you're going to know that you're going in the right direction. What is this direction that we individually have the opportunity to go in now and are definitely going in collectively? This ain't Kansas anymore. We're not in Kansas anymore. From the standpoint of the Wizard of Oz. Whew. That wind has come and whipped us all around, and we're in this strange new land now. This strange new land. Some of us are looking for a heart. Some of us are looking for courage. Some of us are looking for more insight, knowledge. Tell me what's going on, and some of us just want to go home. We just want to go back. And we're in this land, this unprecedented place in human history. And as simple as that story is, at the end of all of that drama, as they're going and they're trying to find the wizard, because the wizard's going to make everything better. There's somebody or something out there, and if I can just find the wizard. And as a society, we need to let it go. We've been looking for the wizard way too long. Way too long. And then when they found the wizard, wasn't nothing but a little bitty old scared man back behind the curtains doing this. And dare I say, I'm just saying, if we were to look out today, that's what the wizard looks like now. Just a little scared, something, behind some curtain, with a whole lot of this stuff going on, trying to scare everybody and control them. And the message is the same today as it was in that little story. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. What you're looking for, you're looking with. What you're looking for, you're looking with. You already have the courage. You have the heart. You already have the knowledge. You have the insight. You've got the brains. You've got all of it. You're even home. You're even home. You have the courage. It's who you are. Just breathe that in for a moment. Not where am I going to find it? Who has it? Who took it away from me? Who's going to give it to me later? But right where you are, claim your vitality. Have the boldness to declare that life itself is fundamentally good. Life is good. Now, people come around and try to screw things up, but that has nothing to do with life itself. Life just keeps being life. Flowers keep growing, the sun keeps shining, the tide keeps going back and forth. The seasons keep changing, babies keep being born. There's always laughter, there's always music. There's always nurturance and food that's going on. There's always dance, there's always community, there's always. Embrace that. See it. Declare it. Own it. Now, I know we're in some tough times right now. Quite frankly, it blows my mind that there have been at least 13 days, maybe this is 14 days, of continuous protest ignited by the murder of George Floyd. But what I know for certain is that the marching and the protests that are taking place now are not simply the rage about a man that they don't even know. This is a demand. It's not just a rage over something that they saw on TV of the past. This is a demand for the future. This is a demand that says enough is enough. And there is a moment of pregnant possibility here. It is important that we don't let the moment get hijacked by people on the extreme left, people on the extreme right, or foreign influences, or whatever that is that's trying to cause a lot of havoc and physical looting and destruction. But that's not the story. That's an add-on, and let us not be distracted. There is something that's happening now that is unprecedented, of a multi-generational, a multi-ethnic, across the nation, across the world, standing in a solidarity. Now, I gotta admit, there's a part of me that really is concerned about these massive protests in the middle of a pandemic. How we've gone from one extreme to the other. We've gone from nobody being around anybody to all of a sudden these huge crowds. And I can only pray over us, because Lord knows we have not had a systemic approach to preventing the spread. And I have the deepest compassion for all of the people on the front lines, the first responders, for all of the people who are suffering with illness. I have 2 cousins in Los Angeles that have recovered now from COVID. This stuff is deep. It's deep. In the denomination that I grew up in the early weeks, 13 bishops had already died. And over 30 of the people in the high ecclesiastical ranks. This is no joke. And there is something with mounting energy that cannot and it will not be stopped. You can't heal what you don't feel. And people are feeling it now. They're feeling it now. Today in Santa Cruz, we're celebrating Pride. The LGBTQI community is celebrating Pride. Pride actually is from the last month in June. The last weekend in June. And the propheticness of it all, that what the Pride celebrations commemorate is riots against police brutality. Back in 1969, in Greenwich Village on Christopher Street West, a bar called Stonewall, being raided continuously, and folks just had enough. They were black and they were brown trans people. The cities were already in flames. They were like, done. We've had enough. And they rioted for 3 days. And lo and behold, now those celebrations are some of the largest around the world that started 50 years ago last year. There's something that's happening here. There is a good that's happening here, where people are starting to articulate what they want, not just what they don't want. I've been wondering, when were we going to end slavery? Because we never really ended slavery. If you look at the 13th Amendment, it says very specifically that a person shall not be held against their will in servitude except for criminal activity. There's this exclusion that's there. And slavery morphed into a penal system. So that literally today, there are more black men caught up in our criminal justice system than there were black men who were slaves in 1850. This way that we criminalize things, from homelessness to drug addiction to sexual relations, like whatever that is, we criminalize it and then take away people's freedoms and dehumanize them. But there's something that's happening here, and it's good. I want to share something with you. You may have seen it, and you may have heard it. It blew my mind. I'm not going to tell you who wrote it till I get to the end. And there's a first name that's in here, and I'm not going to say the first name because that might give it away. The person references their spouse. So it starts off with that. This was an open letter from June the 2nd. Blank. My spouse and I are anguished by the brutal suffocation of George Floyd and disturbed by the injustice and fear that suffocate our country. Yet, we have resisted the urge to speak. Because This is not the time for us to lecture. It's the time for us to listen. It's time for America to examine our tragic failures. And as we do, we will also see some of our redeeming strengths. It remains a shocking failure that many African Americans, especially young African American men, are harassed and threatened in their own country. It is a strength when protesters, protected by responsible law enforcement, march for a better future. This tragedy, in a long series of similar tragedies, raises a long overdue question. How do we end systemic racism in our society? The only way to see ourselves in a true light is to listen to the voices of so many who are hurting and grieving. Those who set out to silence those voices do not understand the meaning of America or how America becomes a better place. America's greatest challenge has long been to unite people of very different backgrounds into a single nation of justice and opportunity. The doctrines and the habits of racial superiority, which once nearly split our country, still threaten our union. The answers to American problems are found by living up to American ideals, to the fundamental truth that all human beings are created equal and endowed by God with certain rights. We have often underestimated how radical that quest really is, and how our cherished principles challenge systems of intended or assumed injustice. The heroes of America, from Frederick Douglass to Harriet Tubman to Abraham Lincoln to Martin Luther King Jr., are heroes of unity. Their calling has never been for the faint-hearted. They often reveal the nation's disturbing bigotry and exploitation, stains on our character, sometimes difficult for the American majority to examine. We can only see the reality of America's need by seeing it through the eyes of the threatened, oppressed, and disenfranchised. That is exactly where we now stand. Many doubt the justice of our country, and with good reason. Black people see the repeated violation of their rights without an urgent and adequate response from American institutions. We know that lasting justice will only come by peaceful means. Looting is not liberation, and destruction is not progress. But we also know that lasting peace in our communities requires truly equal justice. The rule of law ultimately depends upon the fairness and legitimacy of the legal system. And achieving justice for all is the duty of all. Truly, This will require a consistent, courageous, and creative effort. We serve our neighbors best when we try to understand their experience. We love our neighbors as ourselves when we treat them as equals in both protection and compassion. There's a better way, the way of empathy and shared commitment and bold action and peace rooted in justice. I am confident that together, Americans will choose the better way. That is brilliant and just about says it all. So I read that to my practitioner training class last Thursday night. It was our last class for this academic year. And I said, who do you think wrote that? First person said, Oprah. Second person said, Obama. And they had all of these people. And I said, George W. Bush. And their jaws dropped. Former president, former governor of Texas, George W. Bush. I would have never thought that I would have brought his voice to my pulpit. I remember the difficulty that I had even acknowledging that he was the president. I was showering one time coming to church, and I don't know what I was frustrated about. I was frustrated something going on politically. And I heard my spirit voice say to me, talking about George W. when he was president, you are mad with him for not being everybody's president when you don't let him be yours. I was like, ooh. So I came and I stood right here. And I let the words come out of my mouth, President George Bush. I don't think I said it again, but I did let it come out my mouth. I was pretty upset, thinking that the Supreme Court unfairly gave him the presidency over Al Gore, amongst a number of other things. But I bring his voice here today. Embrace the good. Wherever it is, don't get stuck in the divisiveness. Don't get stuck in the constructs of left, right, red, blue, whatever it is. There's truth being spoken everywhere. There are people of goodwill and good character everywhere. And if there was ever a moment when we could unite, it's now. You don't get more Republican than George W. Bush. It doesn't come more red than that. The Bush family is to Republicans what the Kennedys are to the Democrats. We're talking Republican royalty. Traditional Republican royalty. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with the party that we call Republican now. But the traditional Republican Party, it's it. Something's happening now, folks. Don't just write people off because of who they were before or what they were before. I don't think he could have written that 20 years ago when he was president. But that's a brilliant articulation. And it has liberated me because if he can say that, oh, I'm saying some stuff. Oh, yeah, you should check me out online these days on Facebook and all the workshops and stuff. Oh, yeah, I'm saying some stuff now because it's time to be said. It's time to be said. Amidst all of the chaos, amidst all of the drama, Embrace the good. Let this be a moment of unity. Let this be a time where we can see each other. See each other. And who knows? If the person in the White House ever actually tried to be the president of everybody, maybe I might use that word with them too. But there's something that's happening. And I invite you into the vitality of this moment. Don't just see it as uprising. Don't just see it as chaos. Don't just see it as destruction. This is democracy at its best. This is the pulse and the vein and the blood of what makes democracy. And yeah, it's messy. It's messy. Nobody can control it. Nobody's over it. But when you have this many people waking up and showing up, don't dismiss it. Bless it. Bless it. Bless it. No matter where you've stood before, it's okay to be wrong. The NFL commissioner now says that the National Football League was wrong for not supporting the players who were trying to say something. And I'm going to end on this. The taking a knee is not to defame the flag. It actually has nothing to do with the flag. So Colin Kaepernick really made this popular a couple of years ago when he would take a knee at the football games. And he came up with this particular strategy in concert with some advice that he was getting from a guy named Nate Boyer, who was a U.S. operative. He had been a Green Beret. Kneeling has always been a sign of respect. You kneel to pray, you kneel to propose, you kneel to be knighted. So this guy, Boyer, wrote a letter to Kaepernick and said, I see you sitting down during the anthem. Like, what all is this about, and what is the statement, and can we make it stronger? So what's popular in the military is you kneel for the fallen soldier. You kneel graveside for the ones who were wounded in battle. On the football field, the players kneel when a player has been injured. It calls for a moment of silence. And they've even agreed that in this show of unity, if the opponent gets deeply injured and has to be carried off the field, you kneel for that one too. This is not about the flag. This is the Star-Spangled Banner. And when we're singing about the land of the free, taking a knee for the fallen ones, taking a knee for the innocent people out on the streets who have been killed in police combat. I'm not trying to tell people to kneel or not to kneel. I'm just saying, let's not get it twisted. Let's quit with this stuff about honoring the flag or not honoring the flag. It's to bring attention to the hypocrisy of singing about the land of the free when everybody's not free. So it's not to go against the nation. This is called tough love, to call the nation up and out. I want you to feel that. The need is to say we can do better. It's not to crap on who we've been, but it's a call up to be better. So I don't know what you do. You could bake a pie, as far as I'm concerned. You don't have to be out in the streets. But whatever is that thing that you can do, now's the time. Now's the time to register in this collective consciousness, we can do better. And stand up for the vitality of the nation and who we represent in the world. Just breathe that in. And let's pray. Let's pray. I'm going to ask Stephen to just noodle under me a little bit. As we turn within in this moment to something that is great, grand, and glorious, and beyond anything that we can possibly imagine. Life is in session. Oh, and what a time it is. Truly, we are here for such a time as this. No accident. No accident. And we are so grateful to be born now. To be in this moment that the history books will be talking about. We open up wide, wider than it's ever been before. Something's calling us higher than we've ever gone before. And we have the courage to make the sacrifices, whatever that is, it's being called upon to make. That little self that's running around and afraid. Oh, thank you, Spirit Almighty, that we have the heart. We have the courage. We have the brain. We have what it takes to make it home. Home. The home that we've known always can exist. Even though we haven't experienced it, it doesn't make it less real. We act as if. We move in that direction. In this moment right now, I know that the Holy Spirit, that the laws of the universe are rushing through, cleansing and purifying our hearts, creating opportunities, opening up doors, showing up as sustenance. And so many people are unemployed that it's showing up as food on the table, that it is showing up as shelter, that as we try to quote unquote reopen, that there's a reordering that takes us to a better place and a higher place, that we have the courage and the passion and the compassion and the patience to walk this journey into fulfillment. Oh, it's good. It's good. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Peace, be still everywhere. We pray for healing of the body temple. Healing of our body politic. Healing. And truly let it begin with us. Thank you for this spiritual community. I'm knowing that we are uplifted, that we are supported, that all needs are met. That each is always fed according to their own need. We get out of the way. We allow it to be, and so it is. So it is. I need you you to seal this for me. I need your voice. Just something. Seal it. Just something short. Just
out of nowhere into this world, I arrived some time ago. How I made it this far, I don't really know. But a time or two I have peeked through as the veil got kind of thin. Though I don't know the whole story, this is how it ends. Love wins. Love wins. Well, if darkness, pain, and suffering and feeling lost and alone were the truest things inside us, we'd all be feeling right at home. But almost like a whisper, it just keeps coming round again. And in your hearts, you know it, my friends, that love wins. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Love wins. Well, you could read all the sacred scriptures, study till you go blind, get your PhD in theology if you're so inclined. But you might want to wait just a moment before you begin, 'cause this just might save you some time, my friend. 'Cause it's pretty simple, it's just two words. It's love wins. Oh, yes it does. Love wins. Thank you, everybody. It's been an honor to play here for you.
And again, beautiful community, this is my favorite time of the service. Of course, I appreciate the message too, but what a blessing we've had here this morning. This is referred to as our conscious contribution time. I like to call it grateful giving, and today I'm going to call it multiplication giving. Did you hear that message? Our charter is to multiply this consciousness. And the vitality of this ministry and the multiplication of that consciousness requires something from you. A donation. Those of you who are on our webpage, there is a donate button. Don't miss that. Be sure to bless that button before you push it, because blessings multiply the goodness in things. There are multiple ways to give. One of those being that donate button on our webpage. You can also text to give at 831-667-5051. Again, that's 831-667-5051. You can PayPal us at paypal.me/Innerlight Ministries. If you would like to become a regular pledge partner and give on a monthly basis, you can sign up for that at tinyurl.com/ILM new pledge. Big gratitude to our virtual community who have consistently been sending in donations since we've been in shelter in place. We are so, so grateful to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember, bless those donations before you send them off. There's good all around. And now I have a number of announcements to share with you today. And I'm so excited to announce that our summer spirit camp is coming to Innerlight for 2 weeks in July, the week of July 13th and the week of July 20th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's going to be full of fun and activities. This is open for kiddos ages 3 to 10. We have limited space availability due to COVID regulations, so sign up soon. The registration link is posted on the webpage and our Facebook feed, and we are also looking for a few volunteers to lead in some of the activities. So if you are called to have some fun with our children, please contact Shayna, my daughter, Shayna, Shayna, at innerlightministries.com. That's Shayna at innerlightministries.com. And because we want to make this a safe, fun place for the kiddos, we're preparing for camp as well as our phase 1 reopening. We love our community, and we are planning a community landscape weekend. It's actually next weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, the 13th and 14th from 8 to 2, right here on the property. If you have a riding lawnmower, that would be greatly appreciated. You have any other equipment or just your time and talents to share with us to beautify our community property here, we would so appreciate it. And I want to send out a big thank you to Ganana Downing and Kathy Provost for coming in and doing such a beautiful job of deep cleaning and beautifying our sanctuary in preparation for our phase 1 reopening, which, by the way, is June 21st. That's in 2 weeks. Have a little detail to speak on regarding that grand opening. Here's some of the prep that needs to be done. Please note these changes. We are so looking forward to seeing you, by the way. And we will be following county guidelines for safe gatherings. There will be a limit to the number of people allowed in the building, including those of us in service. So you will be asked to proper distance, wear a mask. We'll be checking for temperatures at the door. Be sure to give yourself a little extra time for those procedures so we don't miss the service when it begins at 10:30. Also, you've heard a lot of conversation today about race relations. Reverend Deborah started a conversation last week on race relations across our nations, and she will be continuing this conversation in a recalibration conversation on race relations, and she has a workshop that is going to kick off. Now, Spirituality in Action series, Introduction to Sacred Race Relations. It's a skill-building workshop, and it's a primer on effective change strategies. It is this Wednesday, June 10th, and next Wednesday, June the 17th, from 3 to 4:30 via Zoom. Information on how you can register should be in your chat stream, as well as posted on all of our social media. Also coming this month, on Mondays, starting June 22nd and running through July 27th from 7 to 9 p.m., an Inner Light book study. This will be facilitated by Ganana Downing and Tamate Peterson, 2 of our practitioners of higher consciousness. The book study is A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. The purpose of life is to grow into our perfection. Love isn't love until it's unconditional. We don't experience who we really are until we experience our perfect love. A quote from Return to Love. If you'd like to join this workshop, you can email Donna Starr at donnas@innerlightministries.com. That's Donna S. at innerlightministries.com, and that's pretty much the email you can address anything you want to register for. If you can't find the information, email Donna. She'll provide you with that, okay? And Inner Light's partnership with Second Harvest continues our pantry on Thursdays at 12 p.m. This is open to everyone. Please avail yourself to the free food that we distribute every Thursday, thousands of pounds of food. And they could always use a few more volunteers with the setup and breakdown in the afternoon. If you have some extra time and some muscle, come on in here and help us out. Thank you for that. And please note, due to Second Harvest inventory, we will be closed on June the 25th. That's Thursday, June the 25th. There will not be a pantry that day. Our coffee chat is continuing Monday through Saturday at 11 o'clock. Prayer and inspiration hosted by our Inner Light practitioners. Again, the links are in our social media feeds, so check that out. Let me see if I can come up with anything else here. Oh, I ask you to mark off a slot in your Zoom calendar. Our virtual community meeting is taking place on Thursday, the 18th at 7 p.m. And again, you'll need to register for that as a Zoom meeting. And that was changed from the 11th. So change your Zoom calendar from the 11th to the 18th at 7 p.m. And if you are 60 years old, a woman on a spiritual path, Kathy Miles is continuing our WOW gatherings every Thursday at 4:30. And you can email Kathy to register for that gathering at WOW, that's WOW, at innerlightministries.com. And I mentioned before, prayer is available in many ways. Our virtual prayer room is open to receive registration now and will be open for prayer shortly. That link is in your live stream chat. Also, prayer is available by telephone at 831-465-9090, extension 254. You can also receive prayer via email at the number 4, the word prayer, at innerlightministries.com. And I believe that completes this for today. Have a beautiful Sunday. And Stephen, take us home, would you? Thank you again for your blessing here today.
Well, after hearing Rev D speak, having the experience of today, this is the song that wants to come through last. Mother, there's too many of you crying. Oh, brother, there's too many of you dying. Don't you know we got to find a way to bring some loving here today? Father, there's no need to escalate. You know war is not the answer. Only love can conquer hate. Don't you know we got to find a way to bring some understanding here today? Picket lines, brother, and picket signs, brother. Don't punish me, brother, with brutality, brother. Talk to me, brother, so we can see what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. hey, Father, Father, everybody thinks we're wrong. Oh, but who are they to judge us? Simply 'cause our hair is long. Don't you know we got to find a way to bring some love in here today? Picket lines, sister, and picket signs, sister. Don't punish me, sis, with brutality, sister. Talk to me, sister, so we can see, oh, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. You tell me what's going on, I'll tell you what's going on. You tell me what's going on, I'll tell you what's going on, what's going on.
Oh, that was perfect. That was perfect, Stephen. Let us take this consciousness and multiply it. Peace and blessings to you.